Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Wizards of the Coast being positioned for sale. Okay, all right. Now this is a rumor that keeps cropping up. I thought we were done with this rumor. This is a major rumor in 2021. It was covered extremely well by Professor Dungeon Master over on Dungeon Craft, right? And he put forward some strong evidence. Said, "Hey, take a look. It really looks like Wizards of the Coast is being prepped for sale," right? And it gave a lot of strong evidence, right? But then, as the year went by, we looked and we're like, wait a second, hold on. You know, they just took the Wizards of the Coast CEO and made him Hasbro CEO. Dungeons and Dragons is doing fantastically. Not only is Dungeons and Dragons highly profitable, right? But it's actually turning into a flower that blooms petals that are doing extremely well. Critical Role, like they did 20. They're like Critical Role just rubbed their face on Dungeons and Dragons and made $20 million at least, right? It's starting to look like, they may end up like Matthew Mercer may end up collecting $25 to $50 million when this whole Legends of Vox Machina thing is done and all the merch and everything that comes out of it. Huge amounts of money, right? And that's just. I rubbed my face on Dungeons and Dragons and got rich, right? Like it's incredible, right? Not only is Dungeons and Dragons profitable, but the miniatures market, right? The miniatures market is going bonkers right now. Like you can buy a $325 Tale of the Yawning Portal miniature. You can buy $100 dragons, and not one. There's like 6 of them, right? Like it's like one mini, $100, right? And any FLGS you walk into, right, that covers Dungeons and Dragons, it is almost guaranteed, right? In fact, I've never seen it not the case, that the miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons take 3 times the space as the books, right? Like, and I have been giving a lot of thought, and it increasingly looks like the miniatures market for Dungeons and Dragons may be more profitable than the book market, right? It is incredible, right? And not just for D&D. D&D has their own line, but they're like, Reaper Bones is making a killing, and half those minis are going to Dungeons and Dragons tables, in my humble opinion, right? So the reality is, not only is Dungeons and Dragons profitable, but it's making a ton of other people money, and that's good. That's like if in America we care about capitalism. Like we're like, hey, this ain't a communist country. Like you work hard, you gets the money. So yeah, right. So basically, it's Dungeons and Dragons is doing extremely well, right? So Clownfish just reopened this rumor, right? So Clownfish TV, and I'll link to the video below. He just gave evidence, right? He said, "This is the evidence I see," right? And actually, he said this is conjecture and rumor, right? So this is the only story here is that this rumor that Wizards of the Coast is being positioned to sale will not die, right? It's very strong, right? So let's talk about what actually is happening with this rumor, right? So first of all, you got to pay attention. You can't stop thinking. I really thought this was done, and when at the end of the year, I was like, okay, listen, Dungeons and Dragons is making great money. It's highly profitable. Wizards of the Coast just made Hasbro just made the CEO of Wizards of the Coast the CEO of Hasbro. They're like, hey, that awesome thing you're doing over there on Wizards of the Coast, we want that on Hasbro, right? I was like, oh yeah, this is done. They're gonna, Dungeons and Dragons is the gem in their crown. Like we're done, right? That's not the case. I agree with Clownfish TV. Here's the real ball of wax. Everything we thought was true. Dungeons and Dragons is profitable. It is very healthy, right? And there's no reason, and we thought there was no reason for Hasbro to think about selling Wizards of the Coast. There is a reason, okay? First and foremost, let me explain something, okay? If you're going to sell Wizards of the Coast, here's what you're doing, right? There's a gigantic, like, it's the size of an orange sapphire. That's Dungeons and Dragons. It's the largest, most beautiful, most powerful, most wealthy gem. It is a world-class IP, right? and honestly, I think it's positioned for 200 years of success or more, maybe maybe or more. Okay, so and then you have Magic the Gathering, which makes way more money, okay, but doesn't have the cultural impact that Dungeons and Dragons has. Listen carefully. Almost nothing in the world has the cultural impact that Dungeons and Dragons has, okay? Then you have the video game industry. Microsoft is heading headlong into the video game industry. Clownfish said that he thinks Microsoft is going to buy Wizards of the Coast, and that's what Cynthia Williams, the brand new CEO of Wizards of the Coast, what her hiring and what Chris Cox's move to Hasbro CEO is all about. That this is all about positioning Wizards of the Coast to get sold to Microsoft, right? So basically, what is Wizards of the Coast, right? Wizards of the Coast itself, the company is functioning, right? It's very good, and it knows how to produce product. That's a really beautiful wooden mahogany box, okay? Dungeons and Dragons is a sapphire as big as an orange, right? And then Magic the Gathering is a nice, 5-carat diamond, right? It's half the size of I'm saying the wrong thing here. All right, let's say it this way. Dungeons and Dragons is a diamond as big as an orange, and then Magic the Gathering is a sapphire as big as a golf ball. Okay, and the reality is, I understand. People are like, "Wait, are you saying D&D is worth more than Magic the Gathering?" Yes, it does not make the same money. In fact, I suspect it makes a third to a quarter of the money each year that Magic the Gathering does. But, all right, Dungeons and Dragons has the most valuable customer base in the world definitely when it comes to tabletop games, right? There's just like the customer base for Dungeons and Dragons is far more valuable than the customer base for Magic the Gathering, right? Magic the Gathering is old as time, win lose, right? People sit down, you win, this person loses. Dungeons and Dragons is completely different, right? It is just completely different. It's a game where everybody at the table is winning together every session, right? There's no game like that, right? Like, and so I think what's happening is the video game world, who has wonks, they have quants, right? They have quants, and basically quants are people who look at patterns and numbers, right? And only the richest companies in the world have quants, right? And I think these quants are saying, look, we've done the numbers. Dungeons and Dragons is probably one of the most undervalued intellectual properties in the entire world. There's just no two ways about it. If you look at it, it has every tag of Marvel in the 80s, right? People love it, but they don't think anything of it. We can get this thing for a song, right? And when you think about these kind of deals with these massive world-spanning, globe-spanning video game creators, which is exactly what Microsoft is, right? You're talking billions and billions and billions on the line. Listen to this, okay? Star Wars was sold to Disney for $4 billion, right? This last month, Activision was sold to Activision Blizzard was sold to Microsoft for $70 billion. $70 billion. 17 and a half times the amount that Star Wars was sold for. And I'll tell you right now, nothing in Activision or Blizzard is worth a tenth of what Star Wars' actual value is, right? So Disney got Star Wars for a song, right? And that's, I think, what's happening here is no one on this planet, except me, in my humble opinion, understands the real value of Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because they just don't understand what it is. Nobody really understands what Dungeons and Dragons is, except me, in my humble opinion, right? I have this unique view of it, right? And that means, but I do definitely think that some quants at Microsoft were figured out and was like, Dungeons and Dragons is a lemonade stand, right? Like, they're sitting there over there, barely, can't even outsell this card game, right? we can take this intellectual property, we can make shows, we can make multiple movie trilogies. This thing is way more movable than Star Wars, and Star Wars is a massive global hit. So I agree with Clownfish. I think the rumors that Wizards of the Coast are being positioned for sale, there's definite evidence that supports it, and honestly, I get it. Like I'm shocked people haven't done this before, because the reality is Dungeons and Dragons is massively underperforming. Like it is definitely could do way better than it does right now. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.